Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 100. Somehow done 100 of these, so before we get going, I'd like to say thank you all for tuning in to 100 episodes, and thank you for... Well, that happened, but why do you have a second? Got the hat! Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 100. How I've done 100 of these, I do not know. Let alone somehow Luke has somehow stood 100 of these. So props to him. Anyways, welcome to episode 100 of The Last Word. I am your host, as always, TJ Chamberlain, and I am not alone this week, as I have brought back Frank Walsh and Mike Wigdor. You might know them from Sports Rap. They've also been on here a couple times. They also were a part of the live show that we did last year. So, Frank, Mike, welcome back to a special episode.
Thanks, TJ. We're happy to be here, man.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I tell you, after 100 show, you think you would have smartened up by now to not have us back on.
I mean, it's kind of the same with your show, too.
For it.
What's it going to take, 200 or what? Before you figure out, let's get rid of these two bums.
You couldn't get anybody else? Here we are.
Kick us off. What are we going to talk about today, TJ?
This is more of a special edition. So there's going to be another episode this week. It's going to be more of the news throughout the week. But this is more a special episode looking back at the other 99 before these. And
Okay.
well, Frank, you've been on a couple times. The main one that sticks into my mind, though, is he knows where this is
I know
going.
which one.
I know what's coming.
Because he's talked to me about it.
Yes.
And we are not prepared for this, folks. This
Yes.
is off the cuff.
Yeah.
This was before we even did the full first year. The birthday special Jeopardy episode, in which
remember.
you had probably, to this day, with everyone here, the most quoted line from this show.
And what line was that?
And I remember the exact context with it. It was a baseball question that you had to list all the teams that Pedro Martinez played for.
Yep.
And you got, it was Boston and Montreal. Those were the ones that you got. And then I ran down the answer, which was him starting with the Dodgers before going to Montreal, then his time in Boston, the Mets before ending in Philadelphia in 2009. He was actually on the team that made the World Series that they lost to the Yankees. And I said that. And then he responded with, I didn't know you needed a PhD to play this. And then me, you, Luke, and Rob, when Rob was still here, we all just started dying laughing.
Well, I have to tell you, first of all, it was a great idea, and I really enjoyed being on there. And I think out of what? How many questions you asked? Probably 50 questions,
Yeah.
maybe? 50 questions, I might have gotten 10, 12.
And you
maybe,
still won.
Maybe 15.
Yeah,
And
you still won.
half of them were guesses.
Yeah, that just proves how hard it was. I think it wasn't even that
That
hard.
figures.
It wasn't that
do.
hard for geniuses like you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think, Mike, if I said, Mike, for $500, could you tell me, what color socks Babe Ruth wore at the Sunday game in 1946?
White?
Wrong.
No,
1946,
you're right.
he would have been retired.
See that?
Yeah, he knows that.
You're not supposed to show up the guest so early in the show. No, that was a fun show, and I was on a few of your shows, and you really do a great job. We have a lot of fun, and it's one of those shows we really don't have to rehearse. We just come on here and have fun, and whatever comes out, comes out.
Sounds like our show.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like sports rap,
Sports
too.
rap.
See, unlike our show, you start off well and get better. Mike and I start off
Here we
slow
go.
And then we fizzle out altogether.
I thought you were going to say it all goes downhill.
Yeah, it
It's,
goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
You probably can't sleep at night because all you hear is clicks of everybody turning off the TV whenever Sport Crap comes on. I'm shutting up. You're shutting up.
Another funny one I was thinking of too is with Mike, and this was compared to yours. This was recent.
Oh, I know which one you're going to bring
There
up.
was an episode. It was us two.
That's true.
And an hour before we started filming, it was announced that Bill O'Brien was announced as the head coach for Boston College. Mike had no idea this news happened.
No, I didn't.
So that was his genuine reaction
Yes.
to, hey, how did you find out that Bill O'Brien became the head coach for Boston College? Oh, I was on a podcast with a tall guy, and he was the one who told me.
He just
And
found
I
out
said-
2 days ago that Ted Williams played for the Red Sox.
Really? No.
You didn't know that?
And I said, what?
Yeah, you're gonna drop. You were
I
not
did.
ready for that at
No,
all.
I wasn't, because
'Cause he had-
that's the last place I thought he would end up.
Yeah, because he had been announced as the offensive coordinator for Ohio State a month before.
Yeah.
And then the Boston College job came up because...
But that came out of the blue, though. That came out of the blue.
That's
Did
what
you
I
see
thought.
that coming? I didn't
No.
see that coming.
No.
I remember getting the notification. I'm like, oh, of course this happens right before I film. I'm going to have some fun with this.
Well, you have a direct line with, AP, Sports Illustrated. I mean,
Yeah, right.
Well, there's
what's
some
happened
people-
before it's announced.
Some people in Boston College, I do, but it's more different sports because two people that I've had interview on the show, one of them played baseball at Boston College. He got drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals
Right.
this past year. He was on when we did the live show in October.
We
did
saw
that.
that.
We did
were
that
on
show.
that.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
We were on with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
There were
also...
Two of them. There was another guy.
Yeah, and then one was drafted by the Dodgers as well. And then another one played at Boston College. This was a while ago. It was actually just his birthday.
Did anything
yesterday.
happen with them? Did they
Yeah, I
make
was just
it?
gonna
Or
ask you
what's
that,
going
too.
on with them?
Boston College has been kind of up and down the last couple of years.
Because they're still playing?
No, those guys.
No, those
the
guys.
that
the
got
two
drafted.
who left.
Oh yeah.
What's going on with them?
Yeah.
All right, so they're both in. So Travis is in the minor league system for the St. Louis Cardinals right now, and Joe is in the Dodgers minor league system.
Cool,
right now.
okay.
Are they in AAA now?
No, more rookie ball at the moment.
Okay. So they're AA.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you never know.
Yeah.
They could get promoted.
What would you say of the 100 shows, that you did? Are there any, instead of asking you what would like your best shows and the stuff, that those would be pretty easy for you, could you pick out a show that might have been a clunker that you finished watching and said, oh my God, why the hell did I do that show?
It's like the first couple.
Pick
It's like,
out a clunker.
I was just going to
And
say.
why
it-
was it a clunker?
It's like more kind of getting used to it because there were some that I did before I got here, but it's like watching the first couple is still kind of getting used to the, doing it in a studio now.
You mean you're worse than you are now? How could that be?
What? No, this
Did
is like
you-
the first couple, like the first maybe 3 or 4. It's like I was still trying to find that groove, but it's like once I got into like episode 5 and 6 here. It's like
Did
I
you
kinda-
start out doing it as an hour too? Hour
No,
show?
it originally was started as it was a half hour to 45 minutes. That's
Okay.
how it started out as. It became an hour last fall.
Yeah. Did
How
you?
much show? Go ahead.
Okay, go.
Go ahead.
No, did you ever run out of material when you were first starting out? Because that's
It'd be more like the first couple. It's like I'd have some of it down, but I really wasn't as prepared as I should be. It's like the more I did, it's like, okay, I could get more prepared.
so. What did you do to fill it? Did you sing? Did you dance?
I was going to ask you, what is your show prep? What do you do for your show prep?
Um,
How much time do you put into it?
Normally there's a lot of news during the day, so there's times I'm doing show prep about 10, 15 minutes a day until.
So you just listen. So you listen and you absorb and
Yeah. And then
No,
it's
but
just
I've
news during
seen
the
I've
week.
seen him do. He has you have like notes on your.
Yeah, I have
like a list.
Yeah,
on
I
his
have a
computer.
list for.
That's why I
it's gonna
know.
be organized too. I have football, baseball, basketball. It's normally by sport. That's what I normally do. And normally the script itself is about a page and a half.
Mike, if you ever see me come in with a list and prepare to do a show,
Tell you to leave?
tear up that list.
Yeah, because there's less you can
do we ever
in a
prepare
half
really?
hour.
I mean, do you prepare? You know, other than we absorb stuff, we listen to the news,
I
we
do
read stuff.
sometimes make notes.
Yeah,
do you?
yeah, but
Just
it's
a
not
few.
as much.
Not as much, no.
Yeah,
Just
he
like-
told me to make some notes one time, and he got really aggravated with me because I came in, I brought in a couple of C sharps and F flats, and he
Not
says,
C-
"Frank,
I
no,
said, "Frank, this isn't-"
not those kind of
No,
notes."
I said,
I was gonna say, I think
no.
Music guy, you know,
different
what do
type
I
of
know
notes.
about
yeah, I
notes?
said, Frank, this
you
isn't
know?
talking tunes.
I could have brought him a C sharp, you know, and
Yeah.
Oh, that was too. Another thing I was thinking of too. It was the first show that we all did together. It was because I was on your guys' show before.
you were.
I think you were before us. Before
Yeah,
we were
well,
on yours.
Frank was on for the Jeopardy. This was the period COVID happened, and then you guys were doing Zoom episodes for a while. This was, I think, your first or second. I think it was your second episode back in studio. That was the one I was on. The first intro that we do. Frank does the Talkin' Tunes intro. You're trying to cover it up. I'm there dying laughing. 'Cause
Wouldn't be
I
the
thought
only
it was-
time that I've done that.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, we're doing sports rap. It's like, hello, everybody, and welcome to Talking
And
Tunes.
then I'm there, my hand's on my face.
Mike's got the what? Huh?
Mike's confused.
What?
And
He
I'm
did it
just
again.
head down laughing.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't done yet. He hasn't done at the end going tune in and tune out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
tune
still-
in, tune on.
No, tune
Tune
oh,
in and
sorry.
tune on.
Okay.
See, you think
Tune
you
in.
know this by now. You've done more
I've
episodes of
screwed
Frank
that
than
up.
I have.
I know.
I've done that on my. I've done it on my
No.
tune sure I've go. And we will see you down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you realize, oh, wait, wrong show.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not a
true.
bright guy. If they haven't figured that out by now,
I was going to say, you've been here for a while.
We've done a lot. We've done over 380 shows now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so you're getting closer to 400.
We're getting closer.
Yeah, I've got
to-
over
He's done a
over
ton.
200, just about 200 or more talking
Talking
tunes
Tunes, so.
than I did in another show. Remember, I used to do a show here called Talking Smack.
That was about
Yeah.
four.
Yeah, that was way back
real
when
bad.
they did Talking Smack, and
I mean, you could bring that back.
Well, I surrendered the name. I surrendered the name when we stopped doing it. I said, hey, that was my name, and if the studio wants to take it,
It's kind
have
of
my
hard.
blessing.
The thing is, what are you going to talk about? Are you going to talk about news? Are you going to talk about what's happening in
well,
Stoughton?
what we did at the time, we were talking about shows on here. Like, Roy Cohen was
Oh,
on.
right, that's right,
Dave was
shows.
on. Mike Hammond was on.
That's true.
Dave, everybody was on, and we were
That's
talking
true.
about the inner workings of the studio and the different shows. I think you might have even been on, I think, at one point,
Yeah,
think.
yeah, maybe.
we did that. And, different shows, different people were
Yeah.
on. We talked about that. Then whatever was important around town. But, I think we need to recognize some of the changes that have been gone. We've had some pretty tough losses over the
Oh,
past
yeah.
Yeah, last.
over the
yeah.
past
Like
couple of
two,
weeks.
That's true.
Spanky. And Leo.
Spanky and Leo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leo used to work in here. He was great. He was a cameraman.
Leo and I had a lot of fun working on Roy Cohen's show.
Yeah.
We used to do the cameras together, and we would always. Roy is very stickler for how he wanted the cameras. He just liked those cameras set. And I'm just the opposite. I would come in and I would move them around and put them on you, and I'd have the headphones on, and Leo and I could hear him. Roy would be in the booth. What's he doing? Why is he moving that camera? Leo, talk to him.
I can
talk to
definitely
him.
see that with Roy, even though now he does a lot of his shows on Zoom.
Yeah, he zooms them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Because I've
That's
seen
true.
him here in person a couple times.
Yeah, he looks a lot better from on the phone than he does in person.
Oh,
I hope you're watching this, Roy.
oh boy. You're in trouble.
Yeah, this is probably going on YouTube now. So, yeah, he's probably going to see that.
Yeah, and we've had some changes. You've gone through some changes over the show. Has everybody been here? The current administration here?
No, because when I started, it was only a couple full-time people. Luke was still part-time. He wasn't full-time yet.
Right.
That's how far back it was, and he wasn't even a year in. It was, Anya had just started a couple months before, and then it was Luke, Rob was still here,
Yeah, Robert Telly. Yeah.
Dave Young was still here.
Oh yeah, Dave Young was
Yeah. And then there's the group of new people that came in. It was myself, Miguel, and Chris, Chris is now, I think, full time. And it's actually kind of Chris's first day. It was actually kind of funny the first time I saw Chris in here, because we had a little bit of a run-in before we started. It was recent too. It was like 2 months before we started. So I was finishing up my high school stuff, and I was doing baseball at the time. I was coming home, and it's like, okay, a long day. I'm just going to take a little bit of a nap in the car on the way back. And then we go onto my street, and then I just hear, bam! and I'm like, what in the world just happened? And then we turn around. I was with my dad. My dad's car got rear-ended. It was just a couple scratches. He was fine. But the car behind us, the front end, it was not great. And the thing was, the person that ended up rear-ending us, incidentally, was Chris.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Where did it happen? By here or?
Yeah, it was by where Daddy's Dairy is.
Wow.
Oh, I know Daddy's Dairy.
Yeah, it's the street that it's attached to the stores.
Yeah.
I live on that street.
Oh.
So there's
I
plenty
thought you
of
were
times.
going to say you live at Daddy's Dairy.
Oh, I wish. Ice cream all the time.
I love that
I'd be down
place.
for that.
I love that place.
So how did you get past that when you found out? I
Yeah.
mean, you didn't become friends at that point, did you?
I mean,
You
it was one of
probably
those like
crossed paths
it was one
when
of
you
those
came in here.
incidental things. It was his first day. I'm like, wait, I remember you from somewhere. And I was thinking middle school, because we went to the same middle school. Chris and I were only a year apart. Because he graduated in 2023, I graduated in 2022.
We got out in what, 2021, didn't we, Mikey?
no. Yeah.
Oh, no, it was way longer than that.
1921.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I remembered him from middle school as well, because I was doing morning announcements in middle school, and it was him and there was another friend of his. I forget his name off the top of my head. I'd always come out, and they'd always be the first ones I see, and their nickname for me was Announcement Dude. That's the earliest memory.
What was your nickname?
Announcement Dude, because I'd always would be on the morning announcements. I always would be. And how I don't know how they do it now, but when I was in middle school, that was my first kind of exposure to being on air in some capacity. We had a mini room in the OMS library. That's where we would do announcements. Like there'd be teleprompters. We'd have a computer with slides for what we talk about. That was the earliest that I was on camera. In a way, kind of set the groundwork to, well, all of this.
To be here?
Yeah, to be here.
But did you do it in high school?
No, Southeastern didn't have the on-air stuff, but I would do morning announcements. I did that more my senior year, and it drove my sister crazy because you could tell it's me because I would have that energy with me.
So when did you start doing your podcast thing? Before you were here, right?
Before I was here. So, funny enough,
Is it part of this 100? We just want to know.
My first time here, my interview was the day after my prom. So I was tired, but like, I got thing I got to do. And that was when, at the time, it was a meeting. It was myself, my mom, Anya was there, and Stephen Bates was in that meeting too. And that was when Anya pitched the idea of starting the podcasts. And for a while when we did start the podcast, it was just me that did it. I was the only consistent one. And there was a while, like a good year and a half, that out of all the shows that were filmed here, even the TV ones, that mine was the most consistent show. Still is one of, if not the most consistent show. Because out of like 110, 107 weeks, done 100 episodes, the few times that it was.
So you haven't missed many weeks?
I haven't missed. Either it be for holidays, like there's days I would be in, but it was holidays, so I wouldn't be able to film.
So is this over a 2-year period?
This is over,
Or
just
longer?
over 2 years.
Wow.
This is like, it's 13 months and 2 weeks.
Wow.
It's over. There was a couple that I missed because holidays, and there was one that we did film, but it never made air. And I had a whole episode about this. This was March of 2023. I was filming here, and as I was filming, I felt something wasn't right. And this was the last show I did in Studio B, because I ended up like 15 minutes in. I stopped filming, and then I actually collapsed right after I stopped filming.
From what?
My blood levels dropped.
Oh.
Dehydrated or?
No, I had plenty of water. It just dropped. Like my blood sugar levels dropped.
Wow.
So who was your most interesting? Did you do a lot of Zoom people? Who was
There's-
your most interesting guest that you ever?
I-
Besides us, of course.
I haven't done many guests, but one that it was fun to do is I had a friend of mine who does music. He was on here December of last year. And we made the bold move, like, you know what? Let's just see how it goes. It could be a good episode, it could be a long one, it could be a short one. We decided not to do a timer for it. And I've known him pretty much my whole entire childhood. We live on the same street. So that's how far back, like, we're like brothers. So we did an episode late in 2023, no timer, thinking, oh, this is probably gonna be maybe an hour. We went like an hour 45. So that was a fun one to do.
Cool.
That it was us two. We'd be talking football. We were having a good time. We were vibing.
I was going to jump in a little bit earlier and say when you were talking about some of the changes around here, I tell you, I don't know where your show, our show, and Tunes would be without Mr. Luke
Oh yeah, Luke.
running
Yeah.
the show here. I tell you, he's been one of the best additions
Yes.
that this studio has had. He's a great guy. He's right there when you need something. He is right there. So, you know, I think we are very lucky to have the Luke man pushing the buttons and
yes.
making us look and sound pretty.
Oh
There
yeah.
we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is very good.
Yeah, him
Luke's the
and
best.
also
Program doing.
Chris as well.
And
Yeah, Chris.
Chris jumping on board, you know,
Yeah.
between the two of them, especially, you know,
Yeah.
my
No,
Tune show at times. I mean, they are right on the money. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember.
him and also Miguel when Miguel was here.
Yeah, remember the days when we used to come in, Mikey? We used to have to set everything up.
Yeah.
We had to come in early, get the
Right.
chairs. We had to test
We
the
had to
mics.
get the tables and
We
all.
had to do it all
Oh.
and break it down and do everything. Now, when these guys came, we started to come in, and I said, "Well, let's come in and set it up." And it's like we walked in and it was done.
Done.
It's like, you don't have to do that. We can do that. No.
I know.
It's like
Especially for
Yeah.
your music show, because they used
Oh,
to.
yeah,
I
'cause there's
remember
a
that.
lot of setup that goes into that.
Used to be wires like all over.
the place. So I mean, I can't tip my hat enough to Luke and Chris
Yeah,
and
they did
a
Miguel
great job.
back in the day, you know. And
Very
I don't know
professional.
where we would be without them.
That's true.
Yeah, well,
And I think one of the reasons why you haven't had too many guests on is because, you know, with Mike and I being the first ones on, everybody who saw that show says, "No way in hell I'm going on after those." No way in hell I'm going
Who'd
after
want to
those
follow
two
that?
guys. You know?
yeah, it's like I think it was a thing too for a while because you guys were the only sports show for God knows how long.
Is that what it is? I thought it was more of a comedy show.
It's bits of both, and then this was also bits of both as well.
You know.
And,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, we actually have two
You could
sports
probably
shows now, and they're both
you probably
good.
find better guests at Dunkin' Donuts across the street.
Well, to blow our own horn, you know, Mikey and I, our show, you know, was number 1, 2, and 3 in the Northeast for what, 10 years, give or take.
Yeah, something like that.
We're
yeah.
always
we
there.
used to do videos, and we used to send them in, and they get rated, and yeah, that's
Yeah,
how.
and that includes New York and New Jersey, and we were 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever thought of doing that. They have the.
That's one thing that I'd
I
be
don't know
down
if they
to
have
hit.
for podcasts, but they might.
Yeah, there's all the video versions
COVID
too.
kind of killed everything on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know.
especially everything with because I remember that at least everything with this, I was starting to kind of get everything together with this in 2020, and then COVID happened. It's like it's one of those things. It's like when everything started to get real, you know exactly where you were.
That's
Like
right.
me, I was watching NBA Wednesday night. I was watching
What happened? I missed where you're going with this.
So where everything with COVID is like when you find out like everything when it at first like okay it might be a serious thing, but when it started to get serious Like I remember, I was watching.
It was happened in March. I remember it happened in March. I think.
Yeah, it was March
2019 because we had just come back from.
No, it was 2020.
What is it? I'm missing something.
It was
That's when COVID started.
Oh, COVID. Oh,
yeah, because you were saying how COVID kind
I'll
of
tell you
derailed
exactly when it was here. Go ahead.
So I remember I was watching. It was the. I'm trying to remember what teams. I know it was on ESPN. It was the Mavericks game. I was watching the Mavericks game, and then all of a sudden it comes back from a commercial break in the third quarter, and then I see underneath my screen breaking news: NBA season to be suspended after tonight. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Not expecting that to come at all,
Yeah.
and because at that point the details of what happened hadn't came out yet, and then Adrian Wojnarowski appears, and then he said that Rudy Gobert tested positive for, it wasn't COVID yet, but it was the coronavirus. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
When he said, as soon as that happened, I'm like, well, everything just got real now. I remember I went upstairs.
No basketball.
And just, my mom knew immediately something was wrong. She's like, what happened? I'm like, the NBA season's done after tonight. One of the players got the virus. I remember telling her. And then as soon as that happened, because it's kind of scary too, because both my parents are teachers.
Both your parents are what?
Both my parents are teachers.
Oh.
So, and for a while, we didn't know what was going to happen with schools. Because there's supposed to be, at first we were going to be out for a couple weeks and then go back in. That was the original plan.
Yeah.
And then everything got worse, and we didn't go back into school until the start of the next year.
Well, I remember when it happened here, we were together when we found out what happened here. I was doing my music show, and I tell the story all the time whenever COVID comes up. I was doing my music show at 1 o'clock, and you and I had a sports rap show at 3 o'clock. And I think it was March 14th or 15th, 16th, something like that, right in there. So I finished my Talkin' Tune show, and you were outside. You were watching the end of it, and I came out, and Mike Cameron and Dave and
they said
Jeff,
they're closing.
They were running up and down the hallway, and I said, what's going on? And they said, you have a show at 3 o'clock. And I said, yeah, sports rap. And he goes, cancel it.
Canceled.
He goes, cancel it.
Everything
And it
was canceled.
You might have known more than I did at the time because you were outside. And I said, well, what's going on? He goes, wow, this COVID thing, the town's shutting us down.
That's right. Yeah,
And it's like, wow. I said, what? I said, what's this COVID thing, you know? And they said, get out. So I said, listen, I said, I need to edit my show. And I said, normally I'll come in the next day, and I edited it. And Mike Cameron goes, he said, he goes, sneak in tomorrow. He said, sneak in tomorrow, come at 11 o'clock, I'll sneak you in, edit your show, and get out. And just by yourself. And I said, great. So, funny story. I pulled into the driveway at like 5 minutes of 11. Dave Young pulls in at the same time, right? We get out of the car, I get out of the car. No, I started to get out of the car. Dave gets out of the car, and I'll have to clean it up for television. But he goes, what the are you doing here?
What the expletive?
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
I said, gee, nice to see you, Dave. And he goes, I made it. What the are you doing
I
here?
can hear that in Dave's voice, too. That's what makes it even funnier.
And I'm saying, what are you talking about? And then he went off on this rant about COVID. And I said, I'm supposed to meet Mike Cameron here. Mike Cameron was going to let me in and edit yesterday's show. He went off on a tirade. And I got back into the car and I said,
see ya.
Bye, Dave. Bye, Dave. So I called Mike Cameron up. I said, Mike, what's going to go? He goes, I said, Dave got here before you did. He goes, oh, no. And I said, and then, right, what? 2.5 years, Mikey? It was over 2 years before we get back in the studio.
Yeah.
2 years.
21.
Oh, no, it was longer than that. Because you guys were doing longer. You guys were doing Zoom until
we were doing Zoom.
You were doing Zoom until it was July of last year. Because I remember when you guys put up the first episode back, you had the intro like, are you Frank T. Walsh?
Yeah, that's true.
Was it that?
That was the first one back.
A year ago?
That was a year ago. That was the first.
So we're talking. It was 2. I think it was 2.5 years we couldn't get in here.
It was at least that. Yeah.
No, that was like 3.
because I was zooming my music show.
Yeah.
And we were zooming
We were
quite
zooming
a
the
bit.
sports show.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did
We
over
were.
it.
Yeah, because you had shows you did in person. You had some Talking Tunes in here, and then also, well, the Jeopardy one was before Sports Rap was back in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had COVID, I believe, and that kind of postponed things, and then I think
did.
you
I
had
had
it.
COVID.
I think you had it. That kind of
I've had it
postponed
many
things a
times.
little. Yeah.
I've had it 5 times.
5?
Five
Five
times.
times.
What?
Once was because I had it, and then I took that. What do they call that? Paris something. There's some kind of
Paxlovid.
Paxlovid, and I got a rebound effect. Yep. Then we had some friends from Britain come here, and they got it, and I got it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I think I have a lot of antibodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, I only had it once. It was before I even got here.
Yeah, I got it once, and then I swear my doctor thought I had a false positive, but once.
I've had a
and
lot
I
of
didn't even-
boosters.
And the only thing, it was funny how I had it.
Yeah, it was after I got my booster. It was a couple months after. It was during my senior year, too. It was during winter break. Because we were supposed to have a game the Friday that it was going to be break. We were supposed to have a game that Friday. And then a couple days off, and we were going to take part in a tournament. The day before the game that was supposed to be, we were supposed to face Canton. And one of our players leaves practice because he ended up testing positive. He said he wasn't feeling
Was
well.
it a baseball game?
No, this was for basketball.
Basketball. Okay.
And then the next day, they had us come down to test to see if we were positive or negative. By the end of the day, this is the final day before winter break, 4 more guys got it. I test negative at the time. I go back into my class, and then I end up getting it 2 days later.
Wow.
Because I woke up that Sunday.
Yeah, it's
It was on
contagious.
Christmas Eve. I got it on Christmas Eve, which is the worst.
Yeah. Can't get a present for that.
I woke up and something just wasn't right. My mom thought I had mono. And I was thinking it was mono too. So then we tested just as a precaution at the urgent care that's right down the street from where I live. It's not even a 5-minute drive. So we go down there and we do the test just in case, because I test for mono and I test for COVID. And then we come back and then we get the results. Like the mono test was negative, however, you did test positive for COVID.
Wow.
So
COVID is still around.
it's still around. It's not
still around.
It's not as bad as
No.
it was in 2020,
No.
2021. Though.
No,
Yeah.
thank God for that.
Yeah.
My
'Cause I
episode
remember-
was funny when I got it. I was doing a Zoom show down at the C Note in Hull, and they were very, very strict at letting anybody in. Like if I said, "Hey, can I bring my friend Mike with me?" No. You know, it was just the band. There was
Yeah.
the band. There was a 5-piece band. There was my wife and myself, and then the manager and maybe the sound guy. And that was it.
So it's kind of like a
Right.
mini
Yeah,
bubble.
that was it. I mean, it was a bubble, and you know, it was so. Get my camera up. Everything is set up. Oh, and we had a guy live streaming. So anyway, boom, masks on. The band, when they were singing, obviously took the masks off. Kept the mask on the entire time. At the end, they wanted pictures. They wanted a group picture. So we all get up in the group picture. We all lined up, dropped the masks, took the picture, put the mask on. Life is good, right? The next day I get up, I'm fine. The whole day goes, this was Saturday. I wake up Sunday. The whole day is fine, right? Have dinner, watch television, go to bed, and I clean up after you know, getting ready to go to bed, and I went into the bathroom and had to do a little duty, and afterwards I sprayed the air conditioner. I sprayed the aerosol, and then I went like, I went into the bedroom, took a really strong cologne, and went psst, 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 and I went. So I went into the other room and I said to my wife, I said, Laura, I said, can you smell it? She went, oh my God, Jesus, what did you put the whole bottle on? And I said, I can't smell a thing.
Well, you
Oh, that's how you knew that you
I
got
could not
your smell was
smell
gone.
I've heard that. No, I didn't
I
lose
could
it.
not smell
I
a
didn't lose
thing.
it.
I mean,
I've heard that
I mean,
from
I
people.
put really. I loaded
Yeah.
my in. I went nothing.
Wow.
And then I went to eat something. I couldn't taste anything.
Oh, so
'Cause
you
that
lost
was-
smell
that,
and taste.
That was the symptom: smell and taste.
Yeah, some
I
people-
felt fine.
I
was
friend,
fine.
I have a friend. We have,
So
a, friend, we have a friend
I
that still does
freaked
it.
out. I
Does
freaked
it.
out. So the next day, Monday, I went and got tested.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I found out that I had it. Laura tested too, negative.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, so only you got it.
Negative.
It happens.
And that was it. That was the only time I had it.
I
And
have
I
a
had
fr- we
another
have a-
time,
yeah.
I took the test, and it said positive. And I called my doctor. He says, "Can you taste?" I said, "Yeah." "Can you smell?" I said, "Yeah." "How do you feel?" I said, "Perfect. All my vitals fine." He says, "Probably a false positive. Don't worry about it." And never even, tested positive, but zero symptoms
Yeah, because
whatsoever.
Yeah.
I know depending on when it was, I
That's
think
true.
it's like after like a certain amount of time. If you test again, it would show up as positive.
This is over a year,
Okay,
probably
so
over a year.
yeah,
it was a
it's
while
probably
ago.
false positive.
We
Then.
have a friend that still can't eat or smell or taste things.
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
and it
From it.
lasted for maybe
lasted- I've never
3 or
had
4 days. 3 or 4 days.
I never had that, thank God, but I did
Yeah.
have asthma.
Yeah.
from
And
it.
couldn't smell anything, but it gradually came back. But,
Yeah. Thing is, I'm lucky mine wasn't bad. It just looked like I was extremely tired.
How
And
about
then
when
I was
you-
good within a day.
I hate talking about COVID, but how about when you had to go out and buy fruit or whatever you bought and you had to wash it and wipe it?
God.
Wait in line. I
Is
had
that
to wait in
insane?
line.
You had to
no.
wipe it off when you come home in the house. Oh my God.
I remember when
Fruit?
it first started.
Are you serious?
You try to load up on everything. Everyone was taking all the paper towels and
Toilet paper.
All that was gone.
That's right.
Probably within like a half hour.
Yep. And then they started to restrict how much you could have. It was like an army ration. You could have
Yeah.
like 4 rolls. That's it. No more.
That's it. And then,
It's crazy, man.
yeah.
That was
And
a
then you have
crazy
those
time.
people that got it right before.
Yeah.
Well,
They just rushed it.
So wait a minute. So have you guys been watching the Olympics? Let's
I was just
change
going to
this.
say,
Yeah.
we're going to talk a
Olympics.
little sports here.
yeah.
No, I
been
know.
watching
Really.
some of the
Are we a
Olympics.
COVID show or are we Olympic show?
more like-
Are you Dr. TJ?
No, my 2 of my cousins are doctors, though.
I like the Olympics. For me, has been incredible to watch. I
Yeah,
just
which-
can't get over.
Yeah,
the-
which our local guy got a medal. Frederick got a medal in the team.
The team
gymnastics.
did, yeah.
Yeah,
Stoughton did, right?
Congratulations for him.
Stoughton did. There was actually 2 guys from Mass that got medals.
Who's
There's a guy from
Stoughton?
Worcester.
He got what, a bronze?
Yeah, he got a bronze for the team.
Yep. And the guy from Worcester, Mass.
Yeah.
Got
Did you hear about the Irish guy?
Who?
Yeah, he won a bronze medal. He was so no.
Uh-oh.
Take two. Hear about the guy, the Irish guy? You can make it any denomination you want, but you hear about the Irish guy, since I'm Irish? Irish guy won a gold medal. He was so excited, he went out and had it bronzed.
God.
I should have known the Irish joke was coming somewhere. Somewhere my dad's probably laughing hysterically with that.
But the gymnastics was just unbelievable. Like Simone Biles, she's 4'8". and
She
can-
defies gravity.
She can
Yeah.
get up to almost 12 feet. She could dunk a
I watched
basketball.
that live. I'm like, what?
She's like inhuman.
Jaw dropped there.
What happened on the beam, though? I heard that she fell off the beam, or
Yeah,
she
she
got
did.
disqualified or didn't make the cut.
She didn't win that one, and she didn't win the floors, but she won the vault. Unbelievable.
I'm surprised she didn't win the floor. That's one of her specialties, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, she did win the all around. She won everything.
Yeah.
You know, I
And
know
then
what happened with.
also,
I don't know how Fred did in the all around on his own.
All around, he was, I think, top 15 for
Yeah,
it.
it's probably tough, very tough. You know, I mean, he's just starting out.
Yeah, he's
He-
he's
he
my
puts-
age.
How old is he?
He's got
He's
a great.
20.
He's
From
got a great
Stoughton
career.
High? Did he go to Stoughton High?
Yeah, he went to Stone High. We both graduated the same year.
Did you know him?
Yeah, I went to elementary and middle school with him.
Really?
We were in the same fourth
Did you
grade
ever
class.
go to gymnastics with him?
No, I tried that. I tried gymnastics a while back. It was not for me.
Now, what about you? I'm assuming that you were a basketball player with your height.
It'd be basketball and also did some baseball.
How'd you do with basketball? I mean, were you put the ego aside? Were you good? Did you get any awards? Were you recognized? Or
I was always like the guy just to have energy. I was the energy guy with the team. That's what I was.
Did you score? Defense or what? What was your strength?
Defense. It'd be more.
You must have been a
defense.
forward, I'm guessing. Forward or center?
Center.
Big, yeah.
You what? 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, I'm 6'3", but I should be 6'4", but I was sick a year.
Old age, you start to lose your body.
Yeah. I thought it was a joke for a second.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, there'd always be like a couple games that I'd be in because we had some good guys on that team.
Stoughton High.
No, I went to Southeastern.
Southeastern?
I went to Southeastern,
Okay.
which we were talking about everything, with COVID happening. We had just played a game a couple days before everything shut down. That was the game that we got eliminated. It was on the 8th. That was when we ended up having our last playoff game and last athletic game until, 2020. It was 2020, the 21-22 basketball season. Because my junior year, the school opted out. There wasn't any basketball my junior year,
Wow.
which sucked.
So that was with COVID, right?
Yeah.
Would you let's assume COVID didn't happen? And did you play freshman and sophomore?
Freshman and then sophomore.
So
played a
let's
little
assume
bit.
that you played 4 years. Would you have had a likelihood of going to college and play basketball or get a scholarship, or would
Probably not.
No, really?
Probably not. I'm gonna be honest there. I wasn't like big minutes guy, but more of like where I would excel was everything, off the court. Like it was more my final year there because I wasn't playing a lot, and we'd have our games on a huddle. I'd always be breaking down film. That's where I would.
So you'd be
I
like
would
assistant,
excel.
almost like an assistant coach.
Yeah, which I did actually use that, and since high school, there's some like mini coaching things I've done. I was coaching in a men's league during the winter, and team won the championship.
Nice.
How about baseball?
I was
Where
gonna
did
say,
you
would you
play?
play-
Baseball,
First base or pitcher?
I'd be there when it would solely be just running, because I was fast.
You
It's actually-
pinch runner. You didn't play a position.
I'd be just the guy whenever you'd run.
Wow.
Because
Oh,
the
so
funny
you were
thing
like-
is, I could have done track,
Yeah.
but one of the coaches there, I had him as a teacher, and we both hated each other with a passion.
Oh,
That-
really?
To a point, I'd be like, I will do track if he's not coaching.
Wow.
And he stayed coach for all the time I was there.
Was you a bit of sprinter? Or would
I
you-
could
or
have
would you
been,
been
yeah.
a long distance
But
runner?
because the stubbornness in me, it's like he's there.
Oh.
And since then, we've talked from time to time. We buried the hatchet since. But yeah, that was me just being stubborn and also immature at that time. I have matured since high school. So
No, you're in college now, right?
I'll vouch for that.
Yeah.
Bridgewater.
I'm at Massasoit. I'm going into
Massasoit.
my.
Going to play sports there or do anything there?
It's more of classes for the most part there. I'm going into my, normally it's 2 years, I'm doing 3. So next May, I'm done with classes there. And what I'm doing after is, right now all doors are open. There's a couple schools that I'm looking at as possible options.
What would you do? What would you go for?
I know Dean has sports broadcasting. That's the one that I'm hoping to get into.
Yeah, you'd be good at that.
I was
Have you
gonna
done-
say, you
okay, I
should
was
be
going
an
to ask you.
announcer,
Have
you
you
should
done
be a
any
sideline
broadcasting
reporter.
at all for any?
I've
any
done
teams?
most of the broadcasting here. And before I got here, there was a year that I was doing football and a couple other sports in Braintree.
Who was our intern who went on to Boston Sports? What's his name? I forget his name. Big guy. He was here. He did our show a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember too.
He did a lot of editing, and he's on Boston
What's his name?
Boston
Yeah,
Sports.
yeah.
I
know
forget
what
his
you mean.
name.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember as well, but I think you
was
ended up telling.
I can't think of
telling me
his
the story.
name. Yeah, he does a lot of.
Sideline reporting.
Sideline
and he's
reporting.
he was on Boston Cable and
Yep, I
Channel
can't think of
4
his name
Boston
either.
behind the scenes. I forget his
man.
name. He did a lot of podcasts, and he and his partner had, I mean, professional. I don't know
Yeah.
how he was getting them, but he had a lot of professionals: basketball, football, baseball. He had
Yeah, I
them
can't
all.
think
It
of
was
his
like
name,
how
though.
the heck do you
Yeah.
get him? I forget his name. He'll
Yeah,
come
but
to
that's
us.
it. I mean, I think he worked maybe as an intern at one of these places. I think
so.
to get in.
Yeah, he started here.
I think he did.
He cut his teeth here. We taught him the cameras, and we taught him the ropes a little bit. He was first coming into it, and then
Boy,
it was
I
like
can't remember his
he
name.
put his foot in the gas.
Yeah.
And there was one kid here. I forget his name too. Way back when he's at ESPN now. He started right here.
Oh, is that ESPN now?
He's on ESPN. Somebody from here is on ESPN. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. One of the people we work with, one of our interns when we first started.
Maybe.
Then we had Antonio. I don't know what
We
happened
did
to
have
Antonio. Our buddy,
Antonio. He wanted to get into sports.
Yeah, he was
broadcasting.
big. He was big
So
into that.
is that your goal to get into sports
Yeah,
broadcasting?
for me, it's like as long as I'm doing something sports-wise and talking about it, it's like I'm lucky with this. It's like I go in, it doesn't feel like a job. So it's
You
something.
should do a
I can
talk
enjoy,
show,
yeah.
like a radio talk show. You could start on a.
He does his podcast, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but get on like a station. Get onto a station.
Well, I'd love that.
Yeah, you
And
could do an
just-
internship with like maybe Sports Hub or. See, that's the problem. There aren't a lot of major sports stations in Boston.
Yeah,
There's like the Sports Hub.
the Sports Hub and WEI. Those
Yeah,
are the two
that's
that you
it.
could think of.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
right.
a show that I listen
Must be
to
others.
on 95.9. It's the South Shore station out of Marshfield, and
They do have a sports show.
they have a sports show. It's really good. They're award winning, and they're on Sundays from 5 to 7, and it's just three guys, just like us. And Quinn Kelly is one, and because of his sports show, he ended up doing play-by-play for a lot of South Shore teams. He does play-by-play.
Oh, you know what you might also look into is the Brockton Rocks. Have you ever thought of that?
I have thought of that a
The
couple times.
Brockton radio stations,
Brockton
the
Rocks,
local,
too.
the local rate, like a local cable TV. They have
They have
local
a-
radio
Yeah.
stations too.
Yeah, then also I know for my school as well.
Colleges
they
have
yeah.
radio stations.
Yeah, like the college I'm at right now, I think they just agreed to a thing that they're going to have some shows on local Brockton radio.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing when I get back. One of the classes I'm taking this upcoming semester is a podcasting class,
Mm-hmm.
which you think, why would I need a podcasting class? I've done this for 2 years already.
Well, there's a
you
I
know
want to
it.
say the old WMEX, the old 15. I think 1510 is now a Brockton station. It's affiliated. It's part of the same family as WATD, and they're out of Brockton. And I know they share the morning news with WATD up until 11 o'clock. But then they have music and stuff until
Yeah.
like 5 or 6. Then the evening, if I'm not mistaken, is talk stuff. And there's a lot of rotation too. That I think the way it works is that you need to provide the sponsorship. So you'd have to go out and say, okay, listen, I'm going to be doing a radio show. I need a sponsor. Give me $100 a week, and I'll mention you on my show. So I think, because I remember I was offered a radio show on WATD a number of years ago, and that's what I would have had to do, and I would have had to start off overnight. I would have had to do like
that's what usually they do.
I would have had to start off
they'll
at like
put you on
12 to 2,
Yeah.
or 10 to 2. That type. I only wanted a 2-hour show, and he said that he goes, yeah. He says you can do it. He said you could probably do it in your sleep. You get the voice for it, you
Yeah.
get the intelligence for it, and I said, I'll think about it. He goes, well, I could get you on from like 10 to midnight or something, and you have to go out and get your own
Yeah.
sponsors.
Yeah, the thing is,
So
I think
they
with-
don't really pay you for it. You have to make your own pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with this is because we have the 1 hour that we do here. I think if I went to 2, I feel like I could do 2. The most I could maybe do is probably closer to 3. 4, I don't know if I could do 4.
Have you looked into sponsorship?
4 hours?
Getting sponsors?
That's one thing. I feel like that's going to be tricky to do. But it's one thing. It's like I'm
Well, if you
open
did
to
it here, the way that it
have
would
to have
have to
somebody
work is,
pay.
none of us can make any money doing this.
Yeah.
No.
We can't make money, but the studio can make money.
Yeah.
So you can do it for the studio, and also if you get, like, Mike and I had a sponsor with Pizza Place.
With
And-
Town Spa.
Which one was it?
It was the
TJ's?
pizza place that went out of business.
Yeah. Was it TJ's? PJ's? Something like that.
Boy, that's a good question.
J&B Pizza. Anyway, it was
Something like that.
call it J&B.
Maybe, yeah.
But they would bring over, for every show, they would bring over pizzas
Pizza.
and some wings or whatever we wanted.
Yeah,
and
we
they
would
would
just-
bring it over to share with the studio.
Yeah, and we would just
And then
mention
I
them
was
on
going
the
to
air.
have, then I was ready to have in my sports show,
True.
again, I was going to have Last Shot in Stoughton. They were going to do it. And then COVID came along, and then they ended up closing. But, you
Yeah.
could go out and get some sponsorships and either contribute to the coffers of the studio, plus get some food out of it, or get some perks out of it. Say, okay, I do
Find
my
a good
show.
pizza place. Let us know. We'll be
Yeah, let us know. We'll be
come on.
We'll be on all of those. We'll be on all of those shows. Get some chicken. Get some chicken
There must
wings
be some,
and stuff.
chicken wings or something.
Well, look at
you know.
Roxanne. Roxanne did it. Roxanne, our old director, Roxanne Morse. She had a sponsor, that New Asian place in the center, and she would have Asian food on her shows. They
Yeah.
would give her a whole bunch of stuff. So you should look into that.
Yeah, that's one thing.
And it also lends credibility to your show as well.
Yeah.
They can say, hey, people are sponsoring him. He must be pretty good.
I'm enjoying it.
Even in your case, it wouldn't be
It's
true.
actually,
but
that pizza place.
I was waiting for the
yeah,
joke.
I was getting
knew
too,
that
I
was
was
coming.
getting too serious there.
Yeah.
You know, that pizza place used to be by Domino's. Is there still a Domino's? It's
I think there's still a
across
Domino's in Stoughton, yeah.
From Price Right. I don't know if you know that. And it was
I
near a.
think Price
It
Right.
was
There's-
near an insurance
I remember where there's like a Price
insurance business.
Right,
There was a Price Right on Washington Street on
Yeah.
138.
And I was really bummed because they had a pizza contest. And,
but that would have been fun to
guess who won the pizza contest?
do. You.
Right.
Yeah.
He ate the most. No.
Good one. No, they had a contest like, create a pizza. And if they liked the pizza and created it and made it, they would put it on their menu. And I
So
won.
you had a pizza on the menu.
So they had a menu in my honor in
was
the
it here?
studio.
Was it here?
They called it. They called it. That's how we got when we had the sponsorship. They called it the Page Street.
Oh, that's true.
They
that's
called
true.
it the
Oh.
They called it the Page Street. And what it was a
That's
thin
true.
crust with pesto, chicken, and roasted red peppers and pesto. And it went over wildfire. It turned out to be their best seller. And then they closed.
That's
Yeah.
true. Was it M&J Pizza? I remember
M&J,
the guy.
there
Yeah.
you go.
I had
It was
him
a
on the
husband
show.
and wife.
One time
like
I had
Mary
him.
and Mary.
It's
What's his
true.
name? Jim or John?
I forget.
Jim.
But he was a
He's came
sports
over
guy. He
couple
was a
times,
huge
yeah. He loved
Patriots fan.
sports. We had him on.
I had him on, yeah.
But yeah, we had a Page Street pizza.
I just remembered this too. It's like we're talking about
Before your
things
time,
with,
my friend, unfortunately.
With this episode. It's like, best moments or favorite moments of the show. How could I forget the famous,
Uh-oh.
famous? It wasn't this past year, but last year when the Bruins blew the series to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost my mind.
Oh, the
I
game
went-
7.
The game 7.
Absolutely.
I remember talking about it after it happened. That part itself. And I remember Luke put it in the description as well. Plus the moment you've all been waiting for. And I lost my mind on the Bruins for, it was like 25 minutes.
I'm sorry that you haven't found it yet either.
Sad.
Oh, no, that's been gone.
He lost his mind, hasn't found it yet.
I've
That was
accepted
terrible.
the fact that it's gone.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That
There
was-
wasn't much left. So it's
that was a
whatever
gut
was
punch.
left
That was a punch.
of it. Yeah, I know. But I at least know that. It's like, yeah, there's not much left of it.
What was our heartbreak, Mickey? We had heartbreaks.
Oh, Jesus. We had
The Red Sox. We had.
We had the Red Sox.
Couple
But
with
we
the
were
Bruins.
we had the glory years too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when Bobby Valentine came in, that was
Oh,
like
2012.
Valentine.
that was the pits of pits.
Valentine's, right?
We actually
had
did a show where we
stories.
buried the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Literally, we had some
Yeah.
guy come in.
We had a casket. We have the casket.
You had a
We had a
casket
casket.
for
We
it.
had everything.
Yeah.
And he,
We had a priest
I
come
think-
in and give
yeah.
the last rites.
last rites, he put
We did. Holy
did. He
water.
did the oil.
He put holy water on.
Yep, that's pretending.
God.
That's right.
And then we did a show with bags on our head. We
That's
cut
right.
out, we
That's-
cut out bags and put bags on.
I gotta find that. That's what I
They're
gotta
out
find.
yeah.
Yeah.
I still say the funniest one, the best one, was the one when we were in New York City at the World
Oh, yeah.
Series.
Wait, you were in New York?
We pretended we were
did
in New
a
York
shtick.
for the
we were-
Super Bowl.
We were in Times Square at the Super Bowl, and we had on the
A backdrop of the
chroma
Manhattan-
key was
Manhattan.
Times Square, Manhattan,
Square, yeah.
people walking and everything.
That's right.
And then we're doing the show, and then Dave Young,
Dave Young,
and Paul, the late Paul.
and what's his name? The guy who does the plays and
Jeff?
screenplays. Henry. Henry came by. Henry Gravel.
Yeah, and they robbed us.
They robbed us. They took everything. They tried to take. They took your shoes.
robbed you?
They cleaned everything. They
cleaned
robbed
up.
us.
They tried to
my
grab.
God.
Finally,
And
they tried
almost up
to.
at that point.
Finally, they tried to grab the mics.
Right, they were grabbing everything. Right, they tried to grab the show.
Yeah.
And they took my
yeah.
shoes. They took my shoes.
They did take
Oh,
his
that's
shoes.
great. That's great.
That was funny.
That was funny.
Wait, there
But
is-
one of the best, another great one that we had though was the Pat's Pope.
Oh, that's classic.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
That
I
is-
remember
literally-
watching
He
that.
literally came on
classic.
as a
I
Pope.
remember watching that.
Dennis Brooks still brings
Dennis
that
Brooks.
up. He still brings that
That
up.
was still one of the best.
That
Yeah.
was one of the best things.
Well,
ever.
we still got a little
still
bit
got
left.
that. Yeah.
Wait, Luke, are you still in there, or did he dip? Okay. Well,
What was one of your
we
funniest
got-
segments that you did with not with us, but
I'm saying the Bruins one. The Bruins one was the funniest.
Okay.
But we're getting near in time. We got 100 episodes, and there's a thing that was going to be
Okay.
unveiled.
Let's see it.
It is time for the unveiling. We've had this for a little bit, and
I have no idea what's coming,
Me
Mikey.
either.
Do you?
Luke, well, Frank and Mike, we could do a little drum roll for it, and let it be unveiled. New logo. Look at that.
no more fake.
No more fake takes. We are new little slogan, new logo with it. You see the red now with the logo as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah.
No more fake tapes.
Yeah. Yeah, the last word on
Congratulations.
sports. 100 episodes. And I sent that to Luke. And the thing is with that logo is I actually made that logo.
Nice. Good for
Yeah,
you.
very good. That's cool.
for
New
you.
logo, and there will also be a new logo for the Fantasy Football Podcast as well to celebrate
Good for you.
100 episodes
Take
of
a
this.
look at that.
Add a little bit of red to it. We had the black and white for the longest time. Why
No
not add a
more
little bit
fake
of red?
takes.
Yeah, since
No more
2021, because
fake
the
takes.
earliest editions of the podcast was 2021.
Are you going to have that? Oh, so that's going to be your official on.
That's the
on Spot-
new.
on-
Yeah, it's going to be on Spotify now. It's going to be the new logo for the show going forward.
That's great. I like that.
So yeah, with that being said, that was episode 100. Somehow did 100 of these. Thank you everyone who has tuned into all these episodes. Thank you, Luke, for somehow standing me for 100 episodes. I don't know how Frank and Mike do, but
Yeah.
the fact you have had to put up with this for as long as you three have is insane. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, all of you. for that.
Congratulations,
You do a
TJ.
great job.
You deserve it. Yay,
And
TJ.
with that being said, that's all for episode 100 of The Last Word. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This is TJ Chamberlain,
Frank Walsh.
Mike Wigdor.
and we will see you all next week. Peace.
Peace out.